the author of The Prince. I have read your work many times. It sits beside my bed in Latveria. You understood what soft philosophers refuse to admit. That power requires ruthlessness. That virtue without strength is merely decoration. I have built my rule on your foundations. Latveria is the proof that your principles, properly applied by a superior mind, create a perfect state.
You flatter me and you flatter yourself. I have observed your Latveria from afar, a small nation surrounded by enemies. Prosperous, yes, stable certainly, but perfect. A state dependent entirely on one man's genius is not perfect. It is fragile. Tell me, Victor, what happens to Latveria when you die? Who rules? What institutions survive you? The Prince was not a manual for building personal kingdoms. It was a manual for building states that outlast their founders.
Doom does not die. I have contingencies, clones, consciousness transfers, magical safeguards. The question of succession does not apply to one who has transcended mortality.
The answer of every tyrant who refused to plan for what he could not accept. Philip II of Macedon built an army that could conquer the world. He did not plan for his own assassination. Alexander inherited the machine and drove it to Persia. Then Alexander died at 32, and the empire shattered into warring fragments within a generation.
Alexander's generals were rivals who hated each other. Doom has no such weakness. Latveria is united under my vision. The people do not want another ruler. They want Doom. They have seen what I provide. Clean streets, full bellies, protection from the chaos that consumes neighboring nations. They would reject any successor, because no successor could match what I have given them.
And there is your first error. You have made yourself irreplaceable. This feels like strength. It is weakness. The wise prince builds systems that function without him. Laws that constrain even the lawmaker. Institutions that transfer loyalty from person to office. Rome lasted 5 centuries because Romans served Rome, not Romulus. Your Latveria serves Doom. When Doom is gone, truly gone despite your technological prayers, Latveria will remember that it never learned to serve itself.
Rome fell. Your example undermines your argument. 5 centuries of glory followed by collapse into barbarism. The Senate became corrupt. The emperors became mad. The legions served generals instead of the state. If Rome is your model of successful institution building, I am not impressed.
Rome fell after 500 years as a republic and another 500 as an empire. 1,000 years, Victor. Your Latveria has existed for decades. When you have maintained your state for a millennium, you may critique Rome. Until then, you are a child lecturing his grandfather about the difficulties of aging.
Then give me a better example. Name the perfect state. The one that solved the problems you accuse me of ignoring. I have studied every empire in human history. All of them fell. Every system decayed. Every institution corrupted. If Rome is not the standard, what is?
There is no perfect state. This is the first lesson you have failed to learn. Politics is not engineering. You cannot build a machine and expect it to run forever. States require constant maintenance, adjustment. The ruler who believes he has solved politics has already begun to fail. Venice endured for 11 centuries through relentless adaptation. The Doge's power was checked by councils. The councils were checked by procedures. No single man could dominate because the system was designed to prevent domination. You would find Venice insufferable, which is precisely why it outlasted every tyrant who mocked it.
Venice was a merchant republic. Traders haggling over procedure while real powers shaped the world around them. They avoided conquest by avoiding relevance. When Napoleon arrived, Venice surrendered without a fight. 11 centuries of survival ending in a whimper. This is your model, a state so dedicated to preservation that it forgot how to act.
Napoleon? Yes, let us discuss Napoleon, a brilliant general, perhaps the most gifted military mind since Hannibal. He conquered Europe, built an empire from nothing, reformed laws that still govern France today, and he lost everything within 15 years. Died in exile on a rock in the Atlantic. His son never ruled. His dynasty produced one more emperor who also lost everything. Napoleon had your disease, Victor. He believed his genius was the system. When the genius made mistakes, the system had no way to correct them.
Napoleon made mistakes because he was merely human. Doom does not share this limitation. My intellect surpasses any mind in recorded history. I have mastered science and sorcery. I have defeated gods and outwitted cosmic beings. The comparison to Napoleon is flattering to Napoleon, not limiting to Doom.
Every tyrant believes he is exceptional. This is the defining symptom of the disease. I advised Cesare Borgia, a man of extraordinary capability, ruthless, strategic, willing to do what others would not. He believed he had accounted for every variable. Then his father died, and he fell ill at the same moment, and everything collapsed because he had not accounted for chance. For Fortuna, you dismiss mortality, but mortality is merely the most obvious form of chance. What happens when your technology fails? When your magic is countered? When an enemy you underestimated finds the gap in your armor?
There are no gaps in my armor.
Reed Richards has defeated you, repeatedly. The Fantastic Four, a family of scientists with moderate powers, has thwarted your plans more times than either of us can count. If there are no gaps in your armor, why do you keep losing to the same people? The prince who loses once may claim misfortune. The prince who loses to the same enemy repeatedly is revealing a flaw he refuses to examine.
Richards is an anomaly. A personal obsession that clouds otherwise perfect judgment. I acknowledge this weakness. It does not invalidate my broader success.
It invalidates your claim to superiority. A ruler who cannot master his own emotions is ruled by them. I watched the Italian princes of my era destroy themselves through personal vendettas. The Pazzi conspiracy against the Medici. The endless feuds between Guelphs and Ghibellines. Men who controlled cities wasting resources on settling scores while foreign armies gathered at the borders. Your obsession with Richards is the same disease. You allocate resources to defeating one man while your broader goals suffer.
And what of your obsessions, Niccolò? You spent years trying to restore Florence's republic after the Medici returned. You wrote The Prince hoping to gain favor with the very family that had tortured you and exiled you. You compromised your principles for the chance to return to politics. Do not lecture me about personal weakness while your own biography provides such rich examples.
Yes, I wanted to return. I loved Florence more than I loved my pride, and I failed. The Medici used my book and discarded me. I died without power, without position, without the influence I had spent my life pursuing. This is why I can teach you, Victor. Because I failed. Because I understand what failure costs. You have never truly failed. Your technology resurrects you. Your sorcery restores your position. You have never had to sit in a small farmhouse, writing books no one will read, knowing that your life's work amounts to nothing. Until you have lost everything and rebuilt from nothing, you do not understand power. You only understand having it.